So, you've always wanted to start camping but you don't know where to start. This video is a quick guide for beginners on pretty much what you need to start camping. The first thing will be the location. So, we are the Chesumot campsite. Right in front of me you can see there's a pond. And then there's tea farms. And there's a place for, where you can sit. This is where our tents are. So, that's a tent. This is a tent. And the toilets are back there, and you can see the ground is quite large. And so that is the first thing about camping. You first need to figure out a location where you need to go camping. And if you've never camped before, if you're just a beginner starting out, I'd recommend going to a campsite that has all facilities. So for example, this place is good. Or in Naivasha, let's say you can go to the Oloiden, Oasis, or even in Mombasa. There are places where you can camp, or even in Central Kenya, wherever. There are places where they have all the facilities. That is, they have a restaurant, the toilets and bathrooms, they have hot water, such things. So that is going to make your first experience to be, something you'll figure out like, oh, I can actually do this more often. So yeah, that will be the first thing. Find a good location, and preferably find a location that has all the facilities, so that you won't have to move up and down looking for something. After the location, the second thing is buying a camping tent. Now for a camping tent, I'd say buy any camping tent. Don't think about the like the price or the quality. I'd say go to a supermarket and buy a simple camping tent. In a supermarket like Naivas, I think I've seen camping tents going for like 2,500 shillings, 3,000 shillings. That's like $25, $30. Get that and start with that. It's just going to get you started, and because you're going to a location that has all facilities, you won't have much problems. And if anything happens, at least there's people who work there who can assist you in case of anything. So buy a camping tent that is cheap, but also you can decide and buy something more expensive which is going to last you longer. And so for that, there is 3 considerations when buying a tent. So there's this type of tent here. So you've seen this tent in my videos if you watch my videos often. It's called a Quechua. I bought it from Decathlon. It's a 2-person tent. And then there's this other tent here. Oh yeah, we've put so many things out. So there's this also other type of tent, and this one is also, is it Quechua? But I also got it from Decathlon. So this is also a 2-person tent. So that one for 2 people, this one for 2 people. And the reason for these tents is this one has a rain fly. This is called a rain fly. I hope I'm correct. And the advantage of this is it creates like a double layer. I don't know if you can see that. It creates a double layer. So there's the inner part and then there's the outer part. And that is the same for this other tent. So there's the inner part and there's the outer part. So despite this being a pop-up tent, it has 2 layers. And the advantage of this is in case it rains or if it's very cold, or you can just even see this right now. You can, I don't know if you can see the water droplets. So this is due to condensation. I think that is the name, if I remember my physics well. You can see there is water droplets forming. So because it has 2 layers, these water droplets won't form inside this inner layer. Therefore, inside the tent is going to be dry. So that is something to consider when buying a tent. And the reason for buying a tent like these ones that have double layers is if you go to, let's say, a very cold place, you don't want the condensation to form a lot inside the tent, and then your tent is very wet, and it's very uncomfortable. Trust me, I've experienced that, of course. And I experienced that when I was I think it was in Masai Mara, camping inside the national park. And I had my first tent, which I used to camp in Monsuswa, also was just 1 layer. And it started, it rained a lot that night, and then the condensation happened. So I was soaking wet the entire night. So that's why I'd say, if you have more funds to buy a tent, I'd say buy a tent that is double layered. So whether it's a pop-up tent or not, that doesn't really matter. Again, the only reason for buying this pop-up tent, which I've mentioned again several times I think in my videos, is it's quite easy to deploy. Like you just open a few latches and it opens up so quickly, so it saves you a lot of time and you get more time to enjoy, compared to that other tent, the one back there, where you have to set up the poles and all that. So I'd say that is the only big difference. And if you're advanced enough, probably you have like those rooftop tents you put on top of the car, but then by that point I'm assuming you're already a pro. Yeah, so those are the different types of tents. And again, the other reason for this pop-up tent why I rarely travel with it is because it's quite bulky, so you can't use it, let's say, with the matatu. But the other one, when you close it, it's compact enough. I can put it on top of my bag and go wherever. That is the tents. The third thing is the sleeping bag. This is the first sleeping bag that I bought when I started camping, maybe 2-3 years ago. And as you can see, it's written 20 degrees Celsius. So this is something to note when buying a sleeping bag. Different sleeping bags have different ratings, so this is something you need because it's going to make your night comfortable. Again, when you're buying a sleeping bag that is 20 degrees, I have another one here. Where is it? Which is much smaller, but this one is rated for, I think, 2 degrees Celsius. So it's compact, yes, but it's rated for a better environment. And then there's another one which is rated, I think, 15 degrees. Can I find it? This one. It's rated for 15 degrees. I can't find the cover. Oh, here it is. So this one is rated for 15 degrees. When buying a sleeping bag, you need to consider where you're going. So if most places will be, let's say, along the coastline, even in Nairobi or northern Kenya, then the 20 degrees sleeping bag is good enough. But if you're going, let's say, to Mount Kenya, you definitely want something that is going to keep you warm throughout the night. And so something like rated for 5 degrees, 0 degrees, or even -5, that will be good. The only thing to note about sleeping bags is the smaller it is, the more compact it is, the pricier it is. So like a very small sleeping bag rated for, I don't know, 0 degrees is going to be like almost even 20,000 shillings. But then a bigger one will be like 7,000 shillings. But then just the normal sleeping bags, like that one, my first sleeping bag, that was maybe, I think it was like 2,500 shillings or 3,000 shillings. I can't remember. So yeah, that is the other thing to note. Item number 4, I think is 4 or 5. I'm losing track of the counting. The other thing you need is a camping chair. Again, most places, if you go to, popular places, they have camping chairs. But yeah, you can buy a camping chair like this one, which has a cup holder. So this one I bought it recently, but my first one was this one, which Edgar is using right there. So it doesn't have like an armrest or cup holders or anything like that, but it's good enough. It's lightweight. So in fact, I often travel with that, and not even this one, because I don't think this is that important. So this is the type of camping chair you can buy. Or if you want to even be more compact, there's even a smaller camping chair, which I think I'm going to show a picture of it or a video of it, which I think I've taken from when you are out Mount Ololokwe. So yeah, you can get a camping chair. It helps a lot, when you reach a place, then you need to be flexible, so you can sit wherever you want with that. Unlike these ones, which are fixed, so this is for this location, it's fixed there, so you can't move it anywhere. Yeah, and that is the camping chairs. What else do you need? The other thing that you need is you don't need it, but it's a necessity. It can be necessary, or rather it can help you through the night, is a sleeping mattress. When I started out, I didn't have any sleeping mattress. I just used to sleep on the ground, which worked. Or rather, what I would do was have a Masai shuka, which I'd put on the ground, and then use my sleeping bag. But then if you need a sleeping mattress, there's something like this. Again, it's a small one, compact, for only one person. And then you can just inflate it, and deflating it is also easy. So for example, if you just pop here, it's going to deflate. Where is it? Yeah, that easily deflates, and then it's also compact when you close it, so you can carry it easily. And there's a different type that I have. This one, yeah, it's almost the same kind, so these ones deflate quite easily. So you can buy a sleeping mattress, or alternatively you can also buy just like a normal sleeping mat, which they are quite thin, and then you just like, you know, put them on the ground. Again, not very necessary, but if it's going to make your night comfortable, then probably something you can, you know, decide to purchase. Another thing which you might need, again, not very necessary, but I'd always recommend having, is a power bank. Yeah, we live in a technology world where nowadays everything is connected on the internet. So unless you're going to a location where you just want to completely unplug, get a good power bank. Don't get like those fake power banks, you know, along the streets. Get a good one. I bought this one maybe 4 years ago, and it still works very well. It's a Xiaomi power bank, 20,000 mAh, and I have another one for like 45 watts, 20,000 mAh. So with those two, pretty much you can charge, I think, almost everything. So yeah, a power bank, I'd say, is very necessary to power anything that you need. And also it can power, let's say, like a light, which brings me to the other thing that you need. So let me show you the light that I have. Yep, you can see that hanging there, that's a light. So this cost maybe like 800 shillings. Yeah, whenever you're in your tent, you can just hang it there, or maybe at the end. But just a pointer, whenever you put the light on, make sure you closed the door of your tent, especially at night. Otherwise you're going to have all sorts of insects inside your tent, which isn't a fun thing. Other small things, but not very necessary, but can come in handy, are things like, you know, a torch. You know, at night it helps you to move. A proper water bottle that doesn't leak, again, that can also help you out. And yeah, I think those are pretty much most of the basic things for just getting started. Like, you know, you just want to go out somewhere. Then when it comes to food, again, depending with the campsite you're going, there's some places where they have like restaurants. But if not, if you're going to a place that is more wild, then you can carry a few things which you can just, like, you know, ready to eat, or you just need to boil. For example, things like spaghettis or havanas, or, you know, sausages to fry. You know, make sure you just think of something that is easy to make, that will take you only like 5 minutes, 10 minutes max. Because again, you don't want to start spending a lot of time, you know, like cooking for, I don't know, 30 minutes, 1 hour. For now, yeah, that's it for this quick guide. And for now, yeah, if you can think of anything, if you're a professional camper, or if you can think of anything else to add, please kindly, you can leave those comments on the comment section so that people can see. For me, I was just trying to mention the very basics, like the bare minimum that you need to get out of the house and start. And then other things you build over time, where you go to a place and you're like, it would have been nice to have this, write it down, get it there the next time. And yeah, for now, we're going to unpitch the tents, pack everything, and yeah, go to our next location, where I'm going to try to shoot a very rare antelope. That is, if I'm lucky, or not shoot by, you know, like with a gun, but rather with a camera. So see you then.